So this is the previs for the Pelennor Fields sequence, which is the first step that we took to develop the ideas and story of the sequence. We use previs because it's very fast and very easy to experiment with and change and come up with new ideas, and it's very flexible. It allows Peter to experiment with a whole bunch of different concepts without having to commit to a huge sort of turnaround. It's basically, it's like a storyboard, but instead of drawings we can use digital maquettes.
Because Pelennor Fields is such a unique environment and so well described by Tolkien, there was nowhere in New Zealand that Pelennor Fields could be shot. So we knew early on that Pelennor Fields was going to be a full 3D environment and completely created.
The virtual environment was quite an interesting exercise. It involved collecting a lot of photographic material from different parts of the South Island down at Twizel. And we also went to the area around Mount Cook and took a lot of reference photographs.
The big sweeping helicopter shot over the Rohan horsemen, we ended up doing that digitally. So for most of the Mumakil battle, we tried to shoot as much live-action horsemen in battle as we could get, just because of the believability and the realism of the horses. Now, it caused a lot of problems in that anything you see behind them in that green or blue screen had to be completely replaced, which included hand painting and rotoing and many, many iterations in layering the shot together.
All the Mumakil, of course, are keyframe, animated by hand, that is, as were all the contacts with all the special stunt digital doubles. We had a library of various Mumakil rampage actions from which we wove together all these shots. Sometimes we'd throw in an object like this sword that gets hit, just to show some sort of contact and give a little bit of odd detail. The feet and lower legs of the Mumakil were rigged to compress, to give them a feeling of weight so the animators could control how heavy the footfalls were.
Massive is the tool we use to fill out the background of huge shots with digital extras. So it allows us to take motion captured actions of horses and people and build a brain for each type of agent. These sequences are quite difficult. We've got to try and figure out how to get the agents to not only avoid each other, but they've got to know where the animated Mumakils are. They've got to be able to avoid their feet. They've got to be able to target them with their bows and arrows and actually be able to flow around the sequence as required as well.
A bash comp is taking all the different bits and pieces and layering them in such a way so that it looks like a complete scene with a lot of depth to it.
One of the big challenges of Pelennor Fields was integrating the horses, the Mumakil, 6,000 Rohan, and 250,000 orcs all in this giant chess game of sorts. These bash comps are a great way to see how everything's fitting together and see how the interaction is going to work and how the whole battle will play out as it goes from shot to shot. These final shots took anywhere from a month to 5 months to finish, depending on complexity and the elements within the shots.
The creatures are all now rendered with textures and all the skin, and the detail is all represented accurately. The plates have been put in, and the compositors have added hundreds of layers of dust and smoke.
Each one of those shots could easily have over 100 different layers working on it. And it's just a lot of little subtleties that make you believe you're in this real world.